Are you okay with no exception for rape and incest in the state of Texas?
Well, that's a question the state legislature is going to decide.
What does Ted Cruz think?
I think it is up to the voters of Texas to decide that.
What do you...
I recognize you don't like that answer, but that's my answer anyway.
I'm trying to get an answer.
I have given you an answer.
Ted Cruz has a long history of being that guy that no one likes. No one.
And you're a first-term senator, and you haven't really done anything. You have delusions, but I thought it'd been cured a little bit by the primary process. But last night he really thought this was going to be Reagan in '76, and it's going to be the perfect prelude to 2020. And I don't think it's going to turn out the same way. Do you?
No, I do not. I'm beginning to understand why Ted Cruz has been hated by everyone, every place he's ever been.
We all know the stories. After Trump trashed his wife,
that Donald's instinct is to try to attack my wife is a bully. The man is utterly amoral.
He is choking like a dog because he's losing so badly.
Teddy grabbed his ankles and offered his arse up to tiny fingers.
I'm proud to have worked hand in hand with President Trump.
Then when Texas, which has no state income tax, was hit by an ice storm, the electrical grid collapsed. And what did Ted do? He booked a trip to Cancun, and when he was caught, blamed the trip on his kids. After Uvalde, where Texas children were gunned down by a crazy young man, Cruz defended guns.
Is this the moment to reform gun laws?
You know, it's easy to go to politics.
But it's important. It's at the heart of the issue.
I get that that's where the media likes to go.
No, it's not. It's where many of the people we've talked to here like to go.
The proposals from Democrats in the media, inevitably, when some violent psychopath murders people.
A violent psychopath who's able to get a weapon so easily. 18-year-old with 2 AR-15s.
If you want to stop violent crime, the proposals the Democrats have, none of them would have stopped this.
But why does this only happen in your country? I really think that's what many people around the world they cannot fathom. Why only in America?
But now, Cruz is fighting for his political life and losing.
And my view, Congressman Allred is happy to talk about those who committed acts of violence on January 6th, but you don't hear him talking about the Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots that burned cities across this country. If you commit an act of violence, you should go to jail, and there should be no political favoritism in that regard.
Congressman, you have 90 seconds to respond.
Oh, that was really something. I have to say, you can't be for the mob on January 6th and for the officers. You can't. And it's not funny, because you're a threat to democracy.
Sure.
I was on the House floor when we went through the votes. I remember when you objected to the results in Arizona. Y'all at home might remember where you were on January 6th, what you were doing. I know where I was, and I know where he was. I remember when they told us to reach under our seats for these gas masks. I didn't know we had, because they had deployed tear gas in the rotunda. The officers locked all the doors. We barred the doors the president walks through to deliver the State of the Union with furniture that we usually use to hold paper. And I texted my wife, Allie, who was 7 months pregnant with our son, Cameron, and at home with our son, Jordan, who wasn't yet 2. Whatever happens, I love you. And I took off my suit jacket, and I was prepared to defend the House floor from the mob. At the same time, after he'd gone around the country lying about the election, after he'd been the architect of the attempt to overthrow that election, when that mob came, Senator Cruz was hiding in a supply closet. And that's okay. I don't want him to get hurt by the mob. I really don't. This election is his accountability. You cannot just be patriotic when your side wins. If for the first time in 250 years, this project of ours, this shared American project, that we did not have a peaceful transfer of power, the folks responsible have to be held accountable. That's why Liz Cheney has endorsed me, has got involved in this campaign, and is saying to Texans everywhere, do not put Ted Cruz back in a position of authority, because he's done it once, he'll do it again.
Ted Cruz is his own worst enemy. He lacks a spine to stand up to bad people, instead laying down like a well-trained dog.
The election that just occurred was rigged.
He is, without a doubt, running neck and neck with Trump as the most despised mammal this side of Willard. But wait a second, hate can be fun sometimes.
Feeling frustrated, exhausted, defeated. Sports fans across Texas are suffering from the same affliction, the Ted Cruz curse. Without Ted, the Sugar Bowl would have been sweeter. The Astros would have won the pennant. Texas Tech would have gone all the way, and the Rockets would have soared into the finals. Instead, Ted's curse shattered the dreams of Texas teams. Not even Jerry World is safe from Ted. Want to win? Lose Cruz.
What Cruz doesn't understand is this. People will respect you if you have the balls to state what you believe and what you stand for, and then stand tall. But that ability is totally foreign to Cruz, as I showed you.
Are you okay with no exception for rape and incest in the state of Texas?
Well, that's a question the state legislature is going to decide.
What does Ted Cruz think?
I think it is up to the voters of Texas to decide that.
What do you...
I recognize you don't like that answer.
And Teddy's inability to say who he is and what he stands for is a weakness that could spell his doom.
Republican Senator Ted Cruz says members of his own party are voting against him just because they dislike former President Donald Trump. This morning on Inside Texas Politics, former Tarrant County judge and lifelong Republican Glenn Whitley said he is supporting Democrats like Dallas Congressman Colin Allred and Vice President Kamala Harris.
Look at how he's siding with Trump, and look at how disrespectful Trump was of his wife and his father. You know, he decided to go to Cancun when the rest of us were back here freezing.
That doesn't surprise me. Cruz aligned himself with Trump and believed that the rest of Texas could be cowed like he was. But that doesn't appear to be happening. And abortion is the key to understanding what's at play. 3 years ago, Texas passed Senate Bill 8, a law that bans abortion before women even know they're pregnant. It effectively eliminates abortion access in the state of Texas. And it gets better. This law also authorizes private individual idiotic MAGA humps to file civil lawsuits to enforce the abortion ban. This scheme allows anyone, a relative, an abusive husband or a partner, even a stranger, to sue the healthcare provider and seek a court order that would block the patient's abortion and prevent the provider from performing any abortion after approximately 6 weeks in pregnancy. It also gives incentives for bounty hunters by offering at least $10,000 to anyone who successfully sues an abortion provider or anyone who aids and abets someone seeking abortion after the 6th week of pregnancy. So when Cruz, a 10-year U.S. Senator, doesn't have the balls to protect vulnerable women, it resonates throughout the state.
Hours before her flight to get an abortion in a state that still allows the procedure, the clinic called to cancel because they were so overloaded and ran out of medication from helping people from states where the procedure is banned. Taylor Edwards and her husband spent years trying for a baby, including multiple rounds of IVF, and they were thrilled when their latest egg transfer so far was going well, until her 17-week anatomy scan revealed her baby had a condition called encephalocele, a condition her doctor said was like being struck by lightning because of how rare it is. Her case specifically showed that no matter what, the prognosis was not good and her baby girl would not survive. The doctors and the second opinions he sought out were clear about her options, but told the couple their capabilities in Texas were limited and they needed to leave.
Now, if you live in Texas and your senator says this,
I think it is up to the voters of Texas to decide that.
What do you...
I recognize you don't like that answer.
Well, you can imagine how that feels. But to be fair to Congressman Allred, it's not all about hating Cruz. This guy has the stuff.
You can't be for the mob on January 6th and for the officers. You can't. And it's not funny.
He has the stones to look Cruz right in the eye and call him what he is.
He's a pussy.
The long descent of Ted Cruz could happen soon, and it could happen on November 5th. But what would that portend? Can someone vote against Cruz and for Trump? Same question in North Carolina, as this Republican mope has turned the state purple.
Ain't but two genders, ain't nothing but men and women, called to be led by men. When it was time to face down Goliath, sent David, not DeVita.
It's funny, but even Robinson's crazy and evil missives at least seem genuine. But that question again, is Cruz a good litmus test for Texas? Or is it possible that he might actually be hated more than Trump? That might happen. Trump could win Texas at the same time send Teddy packing. The last 8 years of Trump exposed the likes of Ted Cruz, the weak little incels who abandon principles for power and financial gain. But there is a wave coming.
I say this to my Republican colleagues who are defending the indefensible. There will come a day when Donald Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain.
And she's right. Whether or not Cruz or even Trump pulls this out, the epilogue will be clear and easily defined. These are weak men who abandoned the very people with whom their trust was placed.
And it's not funny.
Stay tuned for the reckoning.
This is not a normal election.
Goddamn right.
Yes!
Tick-tock, mother...
I'm ready, let's go. This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
They're eating the dogs.
Trust me.
Shut the f*** up, Darren.
Who's with me?
Oh yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes!
Tick-tock,
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.